Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is Days of Our Lives 60th, and today I wanted to speak a little bit about the soap opera, kind of introduce it to people who might have never heard about such a soap. So basically, Days of Our Lives is a soap opera that began 60 years ago on November the 8th, 1965, and it's been on the air for several decades. And it is the world's largest television show in the world. It is such a long-running show that has lasted for so many years, and the soap is usually aired every day on weekdays, Monday through Friday, and it was like that. It was the case from 1965 all the way to 2022 until the show was actually switched to Peacock, right? Which is an online streaming service, right? But I just wanted to speak a little bit about the soap opera and what it is about. So basically, we have, those families, main families, the Hortons, and we have the Bradys, yes, and there are the Demiras, right? Now I don't know that much about everything that happened in the show because I haven't watched, all the episodes. Obviously, I missed many in the past, but I know a little bit from how the soap opera was in the early 2000s. I know a little bit about it. So I wanted to speak a little bit about what I really loved about this soap opera and perhaps, God willing, make other videos about, favorite storylines and so on and so forth. So my favorite storyline from the soap opera is definitely the Salem Stalker. I really loved the Salem Stalker. And for those who have watched it, who have followed this storyline, you probably enjoyed it as well. So this storyline, for those who are not very familiar with it, began in the fall of 2003 all the way to spring 2004, where you have a Salem, stalker, as his name suggests, that is basically a serial killer, dressed in a black hoodie with a hockey mask like Jason from Friday the 13th, which is one of the reasons why I was drawn to that is because I like horror films, especially the Friday the 13th movies. So yeah, I really enjoyed this storyline, and I'm gonna be spoiling a little bit. So if you don't want me to spoil anything, don't watch this video. But basically, it is revealed later who the Salem Stalker is, and then there's storyline after that. Right after, maybe I won't spoil after all. Yeah, let's not spoil for now. Let's keep it spoiler free. But yes, basically, there are other storylines that follow, that ensue after this Salem Stalker. But there are so many awesome storylines. There's Princess Gina. There's the coronation. There are so many great storylines in the soap opera. It's amazing that, what I really enjoy is the characters, how one grows, along with the characters, because the characters, most of the actors and actresses have been in the soap for years. Take, for instance, Drake Augustine, who recently passed away, but who did an awesome job as John Black. You have Deidre Hall, who plays Dr. Marlena Evans. She's also really, really great. You have their children. You have Belle, you have Sammy, you have, all these different characters. And you have the Bradys, you have Bo, you have Hope. And all these characters are so awesome and unique in their own ways. And it's such a treasure and a great thing to watch, especially with your families when, if those of you who have lived during these years, when the soap was, still on NBC, obviously you'd remember maybe going back home and, turning on the television and watch, this the daily episode, the weekly episodes. But yeah, this soap opera is very, very, I guess it's not underrated, but it's not that well known either. among many people, even though it's one of NBC's, most longest soap operas. It's daytime television. So those who are not, used to watching TV at that time probably have, missed out on it. But anyhow, I just wanted to give it, the recognition it so richly deserves, in my opinion, because it is one of my favorite soap operas. I'm not a soap opera person per se. I don't really watch a lot of, I don't consider it to be, bad, but sometimes there's just some junk I don't really enjoy. But when it comes to The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, I don't really watch these soap operas. But Days of Our Lives is the exception because it really caught my attention. And during this whole Salem Stalker storyline, it was awesome. And this is when the ratings, I believe, were very high. Up until you find out exactly the identity of the stalker, it just it's a mad ride. And I really want to review this storyline. God willing, I'm going to try my level best to give it justice, which shouldn't be too hard considering the fact that when you're a fan, it's just fun speaking about something you like, isn't it? But yeah, the Days of Our Lives soap opera is really, really good. I really enjoy it. My favorite character is probably, I like John Black, but I also really enjoy Bill Brady. So maybe the two of them are pretty good. And I haven't mentioned a lot, but you have that villain, the kind of family that is antagonized, that is not liked, that is seen as the bad guys, the DeMira. So you have Stefano DeMira, who was played by John Mascalo, I believe that's his name, who was awesome, who did an awesome job on as the main villain, who passed away not so long ago, I believe, a few years back. But he was awesome, and his the legacy of the DeMiras is something that it has been passed on to the son, I believe. You have Tony DeMira. It is such a great soap opera to watch, right? And the legacy, it lives on to this day. Many actors have passed away, but they contributed to making the show as great as it is. So you have the very well known Frances Reed, who plays Alice Horton. Most people would remember her as the soap opera grandmother, as they like to refer to her. So yeah, she was awesome too, and really, really great to see her, despite the fact that she was very old near the end of the she passed away in 2010, so she was, getting older, in the 2000s, you can tell that, but she's still awesome, despite the fact that she's old, she manages to wing it and to do it so well. She was awesome in the soap, really. Frances Reed, who's been on since the first episode back on November 8th, 1965, she was there, right? And she carried the show. She helped make the show the awesome delight that it has become. If it weren't for her and characters and actors like her, the soap opera wouldn't have made it for so long, in my opinion. I mean, we have to say it, right? We have to be honest with ourselves. Now, the soap opera has a lot of great characters, in my opinion. One of my favorite characters is, well, I kind of like I said, those three. I believe that the couples in Days of Our Lives is seen as very, lasting and strong in the soap. Like, they get challenged by a lot of things, like old, people from their past, old flames, as they call them, and all that. But still, because their commitment to one another remains so strong. It's like it's not gonna end just like that, right? It manages to stay strong at the face of adversity. So there's that notion of commitment when you're married, and to stick with your spouse, which is also, despite all the challenges that one might face, that a couple might face, they still manage to, to do it, to pass with flying colors in their department, right? But yeah, so this is Days of Our Lives, and I really enjoy this soap opera, and I would like to speak more about it, God willing. But yeah, Days of Our Lives is such a great soap opera, and those who are still watching it on Peacock would probably know the latest news about it. But even those who have watched it back in the day will still remember the main storylines and what they liked about the show, the soap, and why it's so great. Okay, thank you for watching, and this is the end of this video. God willing, I'm gonna keep it short. This is Days of Our Life 60th, and let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything you'd like to share about the soap opera. Thank you, folks. Peace out, and take care. This is Days of Our Life 60th, signing off.